Welcome to the Ghost Strucker channel. Click the like, share, and donate buttons. Enjoy this epic premiere, mother truckers. I am your favorite truck driver. Enjoy this. The video will be starting soon. Get your popcorn ready. Haters, run your mouth so I can make your throats run red. Ghostface Strucker appears.
And so it begins, the end of Joe Biden's presidency. All of these rules at the CNN debate, Joe Biden and his campaign agreed to. And Joe Biden, as usual, fucked it up like everything else he does. Only good thing he ever did was sign that $1,400 a day early. But Joe Biden is a failure, a loser, is weak, incompetent. We need to get Trump back in the White House. Trump is a man of strength. He gets things done, and our enemies fear and respect Trump. They love Joe Biden because they can walk all over him. It is time for Joe Biden to step aside.
The American people with just over 4 months until Election Day. Good evening, I'm Dana Bash, anchor of CNN's Inside Politics.
These were literally Joe Biden's rules, and he fucked it all up, and now the Democrat Party is in panic mode. That's good for their stupid ass. Fuck the Democrats.
Candidates tonight. Before we introduce them, we want to share the rules of the debate with the audience at home. Former President Trump will be on the left side of the screen. President Biden will be appearing on the right. A coin toss determined their positions. Each candidate will have 2 minutes to answer a question and 1 minute each for responses and rebuttals. An additional minute for follow-up, clarification, or response is at the moderator's discretion.
When it's time for a candidate to speak, his microphone will be turned on and his opponent's microphone will be turned off. Should a candidate interrupt when his microphone is muted, he will be difficult to understand for viewers at home. At the end of the debate, each candidate will get 2 minutes for closing statements. There is no studio audience tonight. Pre-written notes, props, or contact with campaign staff are not permitted during the debate. By accepting our invitation to debate, both candidates and their campaigns agreed to accept these rules.
Now, please welcome the 46th President of the United States, Joe Biden.
Look at this herky-jerky ass mess right here. Does this look like somebody, the leader of the free world, we should be having confidence in? Does it look like somebody our enemies fear and respect?
And please welcome the 45th President of the United States.
Look at this. Now here's a man, an alpha male right here. Look at the confidence. Look at that. The respect, the command. This is a president right here, not Joe Biden.
Gentlemen, thanks so much for being here. Let's begin the debate.
King John, let me start with you. Your thoughts.
Anderson, this was a game-changing debate in the sense that right now, as we speak, there is a deep, a wide, and a very aggressive panic in the Democratic Party. It started minutes into the debate, and it continues right now. It involves party strategists, it involves elected officials, it involves fundraisers. And they're having conversations about the president's performance, which they think was dismal, which they think will hurt other people down the party in the ticket, and they're having conversations about what they should do about it. Some of those conversations include, should we go to the White House and ask the president to step aside? Other of the conversations are about, should prominent Democrats go public with that call? Because they feel this debate was so terrible. They do say, in moments in the debate later, the president got better and got his footing, but then at the end, even his closing statement was a little halting. The contrast between the two candidates. Let me be clear. None of them, and a lot of Republicans, don't think Donald Trump had a great night. Donald Trump broke the fact-check machine more than I can count tonight. That will be on the record as we go forward. He refused to answer some very specific and direct questions about his conduct, about January 6th and what all. So that will be dealt with out there. And sometimes there's a parallel universe between the political elites and the American people. It'd be nice to see what the voters say. But I can tell you, it started minutes in. It started with the first couple of answers, and it has continued throughout the night from a, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, to what do we do about this? And it involves very senior people in the Democratic Party, including elected officials, saying we have a problem.
Let's fix the tax system. For example, we have 1,000 trillionaires in America. I mean, billionaires in America. And what's happening? They're in a situation where they in fact pay 8.2% taxes. If they just paid 24%, 25% on those numbers, they'd raise $500 billion, I should say, in a 10-year period. We'd be able to wipe out his debt. We'd be able to help make sure that all those things we need to do, child care, elder care, making sure that we continue to strengthen our healthcare system, making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the COVID. Dealing with everything we have to do with. Look, if we finally beat Medicare.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump?
Well, he's right. He did beat Medicare. He beat it to death, and he's destroying Medicare.
From Democrats is not like anything that I have heard in this campaign so far, and a lot of it has to do with, first of all, there was a deep frustration about
lost the election.
Lies. I mean, he lied a lot tonight, but the problem for Biden was that Trump was able to take sometimes incredible falsehoods and turn them into some kind of argument, whereas Biden's answers were, in a lot of cases, not coherent. Deeply problematic that he was not able to take pretty straightforward answers and answer them to the American public, and then also at some points bringing things up that teed up Trump attacks. So there's a real concern here tonight that there's been some real damage done.
I took 2 tests, cognitive tests. I aced them, both of them, as you know. We made it public. He took none. I'd like to see him take one, just one. I just won 2 club championships, not even senior, 2 regular club championships. To do that, you have to be quite smart, and you have to be able to hit the ball a long way.
I got my handicap, which when I was vice president, down to a 6. And by the way, I told you before, I'm happy to play golf if you carry your own bag.
This feeble man we call the 46th president of the United States.
He's a 6 handicap of all.
I was at 8 handicap. 8. But I had, you know how many?
I've seen you swing. I know you swing. Let's not act like children.
President Trump, we're going to
Let's not act like children.
Leaders, Democratic leaders are reacting to this poll. We said at the beginning that each person had a fundamental goal, and for Biden that goal was to appear energetic, engaged, and look like someone who is capable of serving for another 4 years for president. That was job number 1. I actually think he scored a bunch of points. I think if you just judge this on sort of policy stuff, he did score a bunch of points on issues like abortion, for example, on some of the economic issues. But there is a feeling, I think there was a sense of shock, actually, at how he came out at the beginning of this debate, how his voice sounded, he seemed a little disoriented. He did get stronger as the debate went on, but by that time, I think the panic had set in, and I think you're going to hear discussions that I don't know will lead to anything, but there are going to be discussion about whether he should continue.
On this morning with Kristen Welker, moderator of Meet the Press. So, I mean, spin aside, this isn't, as we said before, it isn't the performance that the Biden team hoped they would get. They wanted this debate. They wanted to put to rest these issues about the president's age and ability and competence, and that didn't happen.
Savannah, that didn't happen. And remember the timing of this debate. They were hoping they could get people to tune in early. This was the earliest debate we've seen in modern American history. Biden was trailing in the polls within the margin of error heading into this debate. And so they wanted to put those concerns to rest. Instead, we got widespread panic among Democrats overnight. One texting me saying this is a disaster. Another saying this is hard to watch. Yet another saying this race is effectively over.
Listen, if anybody in America thinks that was close to being an okay debate by Joe Biden, I'm living in a parallel universe. That was an unmitigated disaster for President Biden from the second he walked out to the closing statement.
for the candidates to deliver their closing statements as predetermined by a coin toss. We're going to begin with you, President Biden. You have 2 minutes.
And now here we go, the countdown to the sunset of a failing campaign.
By President Trump and his last term.
You have to go home, Joe.
We find ourselves in a situation where, number one, we have to make sure that we have a fair tax system. I ask anyone out there in the audience or anyone out watching this debate, do you think the tax system is fair? The fact is that I said, nobody making $400,000 had a single penny increase in their taxes and will not. And if I'm reelected, that'll be the case again. But this guy has increased your taxes because of the deficit, number one. He's increased inflation because of the debacle he left after the way he handled the pandemic. And he finds himself in a position where he now wants to tax you more by putting a 10% tariff on everything that comes into the United States of America. What I did, when, for example, he wants to get rid of the ability of Medicare for us to be able to negotiate drug prices with the big pharma companies. Well, guess what? We got it down to $35 for insulin instead of $400. No more than $2,000 for every senior, no matter how much prescription they need. You know what that did? That reduced the federal debt by $160 billion over 10 years because the government doesn't have to pay the exorbitant prices. I'm going to make that available to every senior all along, it's happening now, and everybody in America. He wants to get rid of that. I'm going to make sure that we have child care. We're going to significantly increase the credits people have for child care. I'm going to make sure we do something about what we're doing on lead pipes and all the things that are causing health problems for people across the country. We're going to continue to fight to bring down inflation and give people a break.
The earliest presidential debate ever now in the books and in front of the voters. Tonight, along with Aaron Burnett, the first word on what those voters might make of it from our political professionals, from our CNN Flash Poll and Swing State Focus Group. We'll be talking to surrogates, including Vice President Harris, getting fact checks from our Daniel Dale and new reporting from inside both campaigns. With me here, CNN political commentator Scott Jennings, Kate Betting.
Listen, if anybody in America thinks that was even close to being an okay debate by Joe Biden, I'm living in a parallel universe. That was an unmitigated disaster for President Biden from the second he walked out to the closing statement.
Kristen Tight predicting, of course, these debates were going to be disastrous. So let's let Kristen take it from here.
Yes, I mean, this could have been the most consequential presidential debate in at least modern political history. It's done for Joe Biden. I mean, it could not have been more of a disaster. During and after that debate, Chris, I received so many exasperated and panicked messages from liberals, some of whom I haven't even heard from a decade, stating that they were in complete shock over Biden's physical and mental state. And every single one of these Democrats told me that they think he needs to step down and be replaced with another candidate. And it's not just voters saying this, Chris. It is the elite of the elite in the Democratic Party. The New York Times itself, the editorial board said that he needs to step down at this point. And it's not just them. The New Yorker, The Economist, many other publications have done the same. So the president was at Camp David this weekend. Apparently he met with his family to discuss what he will do moving forward. But I've read that his family, especially Hunter Biden, who has been a key player in his advisory, has said that he should stick it out. So I don't know what's going to happen if he refuses to leave and all the powers that be want him gone.
Look, it's extraordinary.
I mean, look at this guy. He is literally frozen in time. The whole world sees this. Putin sees this. Kim Jong-un sees this. President Xi sees this. The new president of Iran and the Shah of Iran sees this. Man, if we don't get Trump back in the White House ASAP, we're going to get fucked up. This guy is a statue. What the fuck?
Where Donald Trump was pointing out to the whole audience, the whole of the US and indeed the free world, what was going on here.
And I'm going to continue to move until we get the total ban on the total initiative relative to what we're going to do with more border patrol and more asylum officers.
President Trump?
I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either.
Yeah, it was pretty gentle.
His family is encouraging the president to stay in the 2024 race, defying calls for him to step aside following his alarming performance on Thursday's debate. The family is meeting at Camp David tonight. This is part of a planned gathering that was scheduled before the debate, we're told. And the message out of that meeting, at least for now, appears to be support for the president to continue pursuing a second presidential term. CNN's Priscilla Alvarez joins us now in Washington. Priscilla, what's your latest reporting at this hour?
Well, the president is huddling with his family following the immediate fallout of his debate performance on Thursday night, and Biden advisors are telling CNN that his family is encouraging him to stay in the race and supporting him and expressing that support, including Hunter Biden and the president's grandchildren. These advisors.
Yeah, I need more Biden to stay as president. Are you here to pardon me? I'm a junkie.
Now by CNN senior data reporter Harry Enton. He is here to run the numbers. So Harry, do we have new poll numbers for President Biden post-debate?
We do. You know, CBS News YouGov conducted some polling post-debate. We can compare it to the pre-debate numbers. And the bottom line, Al, it's not any good. It's not any good. Look at this. Voters who say that Biden has the mental health to be president. It was just 35% pre-debate. Look where it's dropped to now post-debate. 27%. How about that he should be running for president? It was 37% pre-debate. It's now 28%. I have never seen numbers this bad for an incumbent president during my lifetime. I mean, that mental health to be president, just 27%. You might say, okay, you know, that's low, but a lot of people thought Biden was too old back in 2020. These numbers look nothing like this back in 2020. These numbers were bad already. And the truth is, Allison, they have gotten just considerably worse, even in just a few days after that first presidential debate.
The polling as of right now on 270.com, 270towin.com, has Trump up by 2. And let's see how it looks with the third party candidates. He's up by 2.4. Joe Biden is going to lose. Team Trump, MAGA.
We're together as the United States of America. God bless you all.
Mr. President, thank you. At the end of such a momentous event.
The debate for Joe Biden.
And? That was painful. I love Joe Biden. I work for Joe Biden. He didn't do well at all. He did not do well at all. And he looked, you know, I'll give you the analysis, you know, kind of have the old man versus the con man. I can walk you through how I'm supposed to see it and say it, but I just want to speak from my heart. I love that guy. That's a good man. He loves his country. He's doing the best that he can. But he had a test to meet tonight to restore confidence of the country and of the base, and he failed to do that. And I think there's a lot of people who are going to want to see him consider taking a different course now. We're still far from our convention, and there is time for this party to figure out a different way forward if he will allow us to do that.
Like so many politicians, this man is just a complainer. He said, we want to do this, we want to do that, we want to get rid of this tax, that tax. But he doesn't do anything. He doesn't do, all he does is make our country unsafe by allowing millions and millions of people to pour in. Our military doesn't respect him. We look like fools in Afghanistan. We didn't stop Israel. It was such a horrible thing that would have never happened. It should have never happened. Iran was broke Anybody that did business with Iran, including China, they couldn't do business with the United States. They all passed. Iran was broke. They had no money for Hamas or Hezbollah, for terror, no money whatsoever. Again, Ukraine should have never happened. He talks about all this stuff, but he didn't do it. For 3.5 years, we're living in hell. We have the Palestinians and we have everybody else rioting all over the place. We talk about Charlottesville. This is 100 times Charlottesville, 1,000 times. The whole country is exploding because of you, because they don't respect you, and they have to respect their president, and they don't respect you throughout the world. What we did was incredible. We rebuilt the military. We got the largest tax cut in history, the largest regulation cut in history. The reason he's got jobs is because I cut the regulations that gave jobs, but he's putting a lot of those regulations back on. All of the things that we've done, nobody's we've never seen anything like, even from the medical standpoint, right to try, where we can try space-age materials instead of going to Asia or going to Europe and trying to get, when you're terminally ill, now you can go and you can get something. You sign a document. They've been trying to get it for 42 years. But you know what we did for the military was incredible. Choice for our soldiers, where our soldiers, instead of waiting for 3 months to see a doctor, can go out and get themselves fixed up and readied up and take care of themselves, and they're living. And that's why I had the highest approval rating in the history of the VA. So all of these things, we're in a failing nation, but it's not going to be failing anymore. We're going to